Today, we're going to talk through what exactly you need to be doing right now as a customer of Panini in order to protect your data. This is off the back of a recent robbery, which I'll talk to throughout this video, give you some facts as I always do, but there's things there that you need to go ahead and do right now in order to protect your data as a customer, because some of this information should be very concerning to you. Now, if you're not sure what has essentially occurred, it was broken by Sports Card Radio yesterday. They did share the police report with me, but essentially, Panini headquarters down in Texas were burgled. They were robbed, and it wasn't, what you might think, right? Because when you hear Panini getting robbed, you think people are going there to steal cards, right? Or steal, some sort of information. But what's occurred in this specific instance is, computer hard drives and, their actual servers, so their, network servers were taken. And this is very concerning for a few reasons, because that is more than likely going to be filled with very sensitive customer data. So the key reason for me making this video today is to tell you right now, if you have not gone ahead and changed your password with Panini and you're a customer of theirs and you frequent that website all the time, you need to literally pause this video and go ahead and do that right now. Because if you've got, a password on there and you've got sensitive information, and then somebody can access that through the server, through the hard drives that these individuals have stolen, you're going to get exposed pretty quickly, especially if you're somebody that likes to use the same password for your emails as you do with your own accounts, which I think is really, really silly of you to do in the first place. But that's something you should be very cautious of with this information, because when you're looking at, the facts at hand, as noted within the police report and as noted within the information shared with Sports Card Radio, these guys, all girls, basically went to Panini HQ. It was very targeted. They knew what they were looking for. They demolished, certain walls within the building in order to get access to these, server racks and get access to these devices. So they went there with intent. And there's lots of tinfoil hat theories on, what this intent might be, which I'll get to in a little bit. But again, just be very cautious if you're a customer. Please change your password, because you don't know what these people will likely do with the information. They may not have, planned to do anything with your information as a customer, but you need to, put your best foot forward to best protect yourself. The other thing that was very interesting today that someone shared with me as well is that, I think off the back of this, Panini has basically struggled with their customer service lines. As you can see, Dear Collector, Panini America phone lines for customer service are currently inoperable, which means they've shut it down. I saw a few people make memes about this, which basically said, isn't that always the case? Were they ever working? Which is, very, very true, considering how horrible Panini have been in the past. But this is probably tied to that. So again, if you're a customer of Panini, please go ahead and change your password. Now, from a tinfoil hat perspective, there's a few ways this could go, right? Given that these individuals went there and they weren't likely looking to steal cards because there's no cards reported as stolen, you have to ask the question, okay, what were these individuals looking to try and do? Okay, and we don't have all the information, but we can sort of, tiptoe around this to sort of get some insight, right? Given that they also went there, not just stolen computers and anything they could find, they were very targeted. They wanted to demolish certain walls. They knew where the server racks were. They knew where all the network information was. They knew where these, hard drives were, these storage devices were. They went there with an intent to get that information. So there's like 2 points on this. Is it a disgruntled employee looking to get information to take to a competitor, as an example? Because as you guys may or may not know, Panini is currently suing some former employees for, defecting to Fanatics to breach, a non-compete clause, but also, defect to Fanatics, but also take, Panini proprietary information, right? Inside information that they're trying to take to Fanatics. At least that's what, Panini is alleging within this lawsuit. So with that in mind, does this fit that narrative? An additional tinfoil theory on this might be something like Panini may have done something, right, as a business, and there is a disgruntled employee that is looking to get access to this information to try and leak it, out there into the public. So if that is something that does pop off in the next few weeks, just remember, we discussed it today, because that is a real possibility in my opinion. It's just very odd to have, their HQ broken into and for it to be so damn targeted, right? They knew where they were going. They knew what they were looking for. They took very precise and specific things. You have to ask the question, why did they do that? And I think I said a bit earlier, I didn't want to talk about this today because there's not much information out there, but I thought it was very important for me to tell you all to go ahead and change your password, right? Given the things that were stolen, I'm shocked that Panini themselves haven't come out and already say that. And it might just be because, the information that you have as a customer is stored elsewhere. So it's not an issue for Panini, and they know it's not an issue. But I'm shocked they've not come out and communicated that to their customers in some capacity to say, you don't need to worry about doing this for this reason. So irrespective of that, I think you should still change your password to just try and best protect yourself. What I also find, pretty shocking on the whole thing is that they have some of this information stored on premises, right? The big thing now is to use off-premises, storage solutions, cloud solutions. If Panini is literally still using this sort of stuff, it's just freaking crazy. I was joking with someone yesterday around, like, I'm surprised they weren't just having all the customer passwords and all that sort of stuff inside their CEO's, notebook, right? Like, it's just odd that they're still tracking things on site, right? They should be having it off site. And now, again, I should say, we don't know if customer details were taken, but please just be careful. Even if you're just logging into like lodge redemptions and things like that, check your password, because you don't want somebody to change the address and all that sort of stuff. It just seems very odd for the burglary to go the way that it did. So please let me know your thoughts on this down in the comments below. If you've heard anything yourself on the situation, we sort of don't really know much outside of the fact of what was stolen. The estimates within the police report that Sports Card Radio shared with me seemed quite low for what was rumored or alleged to have been stolen, or what has been noted to be stolen within this police report. I just think it's freaking odd. It makes, no sense to me. I don't understand why somebody randomly would break into Panini and take what they did. Given the fact that it was so targeted, it tells me that there's probably a very, serious ulterior motive going on here. Now, that could just be random thought from myself, right? This could just be coincidental. But again, I find that hard to believe. They broke into this building. They knew what they were looking for. They broke down specific walls to get access to what it is they wanted to try and get access to. I just find it odd, right? If you're going to be robbing a place, and you're going to be casing a joint, right? You're going to be taking more than just a few computers, considering what else was left there, right? There was so much other stuff that was probably more valuable than what they took, that was within reach and far easier for them to try and steal, right? The fact you've had to demolish a wall, I'm not sure how secure this wall was. If it's just a, crappy couple of pieces of gyprock or sheet, as you guys call it, and they easily broke through it, or as a concrete wall or something along those lines. There's no details around that, but you're going to go to all that effort to break into a place and then destroy a wall and leave sort of all the other goodies around you. Like, I just find that, very, very odd. So please, share your thoughts on this. I'm not sure if I'm going to have a weekly news video this week. I'm away for a bachelor party this weekend. I leave tomorrow, actually, so hopefully I'll make it, back alive. But I just thought this was pretty interesting. I wasn't going to talk about this. I'm repeating myself now, but please, go ahead and change your password. That's the least you can do in this situation. I would go so far as to say, anywhere else that you've used that password and that email linked together, and you're using that same password on different websites, please change it on those websites as well. We don't know how, systematic these people are that have taken this information, what their intended purpose is with this information. It's best to protect yourself the best way you can. That's just to simply change your password. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.